Hey everybody, it's Ryan with Rhyno Royals here. Today I wanted to talk about assist feeding a hatchling ball python. This is hopefully something that you will not need to do if you are small time having just one snake as a pet. But if you breed ball pythons, you need to learn this. They will almost always take off feeding. You're never really ever going to have this issue, but when it does arise, if you don't know how to do it, you will lose one. So I do have one that I need to step in and do this. It's something that I had to watch a lot of videos on, and I urge you to also watch a lot of videos. Don't just watch this one, watch a bunch of videos. If you know someone nearby and knows how to do this, a pet shop or anything like that, have them show you if they will. Have them do it for you for your first time. But eventually you do need to master it. It is very stressful on the snake, but it's something, an assist feeding is a little different than, say, something called a force feeding, which I will not be doing today, and don't want to have to really ever show that. I have done that before too, but that's a whole different ball game. So, first off, again, I said you shouldn't want to do this, so what should you try first? First off, ask who you got it from. What were they eating? Were they eating live or frozen thawed? Were they eating rats, mice, ASFs, African soft furs? What were they eating? Find out what that is. Try to do the exact same thing. Are you trying to mess with them too soon after getting them? That's another thing. People are more often just trying to mess with their snakes after getting them home within under 2 weeks. Leave them alone. They are mostly wanting to just be left alone. They call them ball pythons because they just want to ball up and be hidden all the time. And another thing, don't panic. Again, you're probably overreacting. Even watching this, you think you need to do this. You probably don't, but you might have to. So let's talk about when it is time to step in. All right, so we got our little guy here who is not eating very well. He has taken one meal, not on his own. We have assist fed him, I should say, already once. So he's already done this once. I tried again today. He didn't have any interest at all. I've tried some small rat pinks. I've tried some small rat crawlers. I've tried mice of all different sizes. I've even tried a frozen thawed before I did this. It's not interested, not in one bit. By contrast, here is one of its siblings. This is Super Inchy boy. I believe this is a Inchy pastel. You can see there's quite a size difference here. This one gaining some weight just because of the assist feed I did last week, but it lost about 15 grams from then. Actually a little more than I thought, but 78. But let's put the sibling on there. Born same clutch. You can see the major difference here. One is quite behind, very frail looking. Not dangerously so, because I've been keeping up on it, and I'm not going to let it get dangerously so that it's so weak that it won't even be able to achieve the assist feed, and then I'd have to move on to that force feeding, which force feeding is a whole different level. You have to literally take it and push it down into its stomach. It can, sometimes the snake just gives up and dies, so that's no good. Alright, so let's get into the process of it. I've done it enough times where I'm not worried about this snake. I am very optimistic about the fact that it's going to start taking eventually on its own. Ball pythons are known to be a little picky. In general, that's not the case most of the time, but they're definitely, especially if you're breeding them, you're going to run into plenty of them that are going to give you some troubles. They're going to be very frustrating. Here is my little rat pinky. Put some water earlier. It probably could take a bigger size, honestly. I'm not worried about its health right now because I've already gotten it to a weight just by assist feeding. At this point, this is more or less about teaching it how to eat, that it's good. So usually what we want to do, and sometimes you can do this with another person, they can hold the bottom end because they're not going to like this. Nobody would like this, and it already knows, I think, what's coming. But this kind of shows how relaxed this snake really is. How calm and tame these really are. He's they're not going to try and strike at me while I'm shoving food down its throat. If I get a puncture wound, it's going to be because I stabbed myself on its tooth. So you want to take it like that. You don't need to hit it, get it really hard. You're certainly stronger than they are. And that's it. I'm barely applying any pressure right there. And you're going to take them just like that. Sometimes you can kind of do this too. Tuck them in there. Just don't squeeze them too hard. And I actually saw a guy on YouTube who, most people do this, they go straight in, but I saw a guy on YouTube, Malcolm from Olympus Reptiles, show doing it upside down, and that they found it was easier, and I agree. So there you go. You use the mouth or the nose of the rodent to pry it open. You do this, and usually what you want to do, you're going to get the little hands in there, shoulders past the opening of the throat, and then you clamp. This is a rather small rodent for it, so it's going to be easy. You clamp down, you give a tug, because their teeth are naturally curved inwards. They're going to work to pull it back in. So you give it a little tug, and then hold. They're gonna thrash around. They're mad. They don't want this in their mouth right now. See? Not acting normal. But eventually, when I get a more calm snake, I'll put them down. Oh, well, that's a good sign. And weird at that. But that's what we want to see. I'm going to put this down. Normally, they're going to thrash around a lot more than that. But it's already eating it. You'll see them walk it up. Take little bites. See? It already knows what it wants to do. So that's a great sign, the fact that it took this so quickly. A lot of times you're going to have to redo this several times. They're going to yawn, essentially. They're going to open their mouths and push it up, and they're going to yawn. They're going to twist around. They are very adept at getting it out of their mouth, but you can use their teeth against them. And like I said, pull on it. You know, that's a key thing. Don't just put it in their mouth. Put it in their mouth, clamp down. Again, not hard. And pull, say, on the tail or the feet of the rodent. That will cause the teeth, which are naturally inclined inward and are designed to walk that meal back into it. It's important to remember not do anything sudden. Or we were talking, but it was very calm. We weren't moving around. We weren't animated. We weren't yelling. They'll get spooked, and that'll cause them to possibly spit it up again, or worse, eventually regurgitate it. Regurgitation's a whole different ballgame. You have to wait 2 weeks to even try, because some of their, stomach acid was used to basically help digest, and it's just not good for them. So you really need to wait 2 weeks after regurgitation. And the reason why they're going to regurgitate or spit it up while they're trying to eat it, if you spook them, is because they very well can't defend themselves while they're eating. So they're very, very vulnerable. So their initial instinct is going to be to spit it up so that they can defend themselves. So the hope is that this snake is going to start eating on its own. Whether that ends up being live or frozen thawed. I feed all live because I've got more snakes here. But depending on who I sell them to, I'm going to try to get them transitioned to frozen thawed. I always have frozen thawed of various sizes here for this very purpose here. In general, I want them to do on live because that's what's natural. And again, sometimes I hear an argument from people saying, that you shouldn't do this, that you shouldn't assist feed at all because it's natural selection. And I push back on that. I don't think that's right. If you made the choice to breed, if you made the choice to do this, this isn't natural, really, 100% anymore. You are responsible for bringing this snake, this life into the world. And I think you have a responsibility to do what you can to give it the best fighting chance. In that essence, nature has been taken out of the equation, in my opinion. I have a responsibility to make sure that this snake has the best chance. That's my opinion on the matter. But even from just a monetary standpoint, as a breeder, why would you want something that you're trying to sell or eventually breed yourself to pass away? And then, again, you sometimes say, well, its genetics are weak. It doesn't know how to eat. I think Quite frankly, that's hogwash. Like I said, any snake I've assist fed, no issues at all, and I've kept quite a few of them as holdbacks, and they're fine. But that was relatively easy. Sometimes you have to try a lot harder, and I'm happy that I didn't have to try any harder, because that's the least amount of stress I had to put on that. It took off right away. I didn't even have to put it down. I've never seen that before. So, all right. So hopefully that helps you out. If you end up needing to have to do that. Again, I can't stress enough that you should exhaust every option before doing that. That might have looked really easy, and it was. That's not the norm. It's not something you should expect. You should expect them to fight the heck out of you. They're going to get really stressed out, and stress with reptiles is different than it is with us. We like to, the word is anthropomorphize. It's when we put our emotions as humans on an animal, and we think that they are like us, and we think, well, stress can't kill them. Well, stress can kill us, and it will certainly kill a reptile. Leave them alone, exhaust every single option. Get a friend or a fellow breeder. You're going to find that people are really helpful to try and exhaust every single option, and then move to this when you notice the weight start dipping significantly week over week. Do not move straight to this. If you've got a snake that's 200 grams or more and it didn't eat 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, it doesn't matter. They're not us. They sit in a ball and they don't move. So weigh them. Get one of these or a kitchen scale, something to weigh them. The reptile world use grams, so something like that. This was $25. It's the Vivarium Electronics. It works great, and you don't need to use this little thing. You can just put a big old tub on there, and you're good to go. So weigh them, monitor that weight. If it loses a gram or two, that's no big deal. If it starts to lose double-digit percentages of its body weight, something that could be concerned about maybe and keep your eye on. But again, it should be your last option. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I suppose that needs to be the obligatory plea as well, so that we can grow our channel. We will also be attending Tinley, so hopefully we can get some really cool videos and ideas there for the future. I already have one snake that I'm picking up. All I'll say is that it's a male. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but I'm really, really, really excited. It's going to be my most powerful snake right off the get-go for what it can do for me in the future. But there's going to be other ones we get as well, so we'll talk about those during the video, after the video, stuff like that. So but again, hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps you out more than you enjoyed, to be honest with you, because if you can save your snake's life, or if I stop you from doing an assist feed that is not necessary, then wonderful. So again, thank you very much, and have a good one.